Jeremy Davis with us today.
What's up?
At Door-to-Door
What's
Con on the podcast, Door-to-Door Podcast. How you doing?
Good.
Awesome.
Yeah, good. Dude, this is my 7th year.
7th year.
I've been every year.
Every year.
Every year.
That needs to be an award.
Yeah.
Right?
That should be like a...
So, tell me a little bit. You're here year 1
Yep.
versus year 7. I mean,
Yep.
has it grown?
Yeah, a ton. I mean, we didn't have this many vendors last time. I don't think this podcast was a thing last time.
Yeah.
When they started, the venue was different. And I remember looking at Sam being like, he's got to figure out how to make this a little bit more professional. And he did, dude.
Yeah.
He's a better speaker. The vendors are better.
Yeah.
The podcast is a thing. Like, it's
Levels
crazy.
Levels up every year.
Every
That's
year.
awesome. So, a little background. You are the reason I got into Door-to-Door.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to tell this story.
Yeah.
So, I met Jeremy 10 years ago.
Yep.
Probably around 10 years ago. Worked out together. Did CrossFit.
Yeah, we crushed it together.
And I actually looked like him. I wasn't like this.
Yeah.
I was like
Yeah.
220 pounds
Yeah.
and actually had some cardio in me. Not a lot, but
Yeah.
had some.
Yep.
And so we knew each other. You went away for summer in El Paso, right?
Yep.
Alarms. You came back, and I was like, hey, how'd your summer go? You're like, yeah, pretty good. Kind of told me what you did, how many you sold, what you made. I'm like, man, if this kid can make that much money, why can't I?
Yeah.
Literally, it's like the scene in Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Where he's like, hey, show me your pay stub, and I'll
Yeah,
quit
yeah.
my job. That's what I did.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, prove it
Yeah,
to me.
you were working construction, weren't you?
Yeah, I was doing construction, 15-hour days. I was building a Walmart here somewhere around here.
Crazy.
And I called my boss. I'm like, yeah, I'm done. This was before I even signed up with Vivint. I was just quit my job.
Yeah.
I think we went into the Vivint office, and they're like, well, we just got back for the summer.
Yeah.
We're not doing any alarm blitz, but we're going to go do this, Vivint Wireless.
Yeah.
You want to go? And I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do it. I owe you the getting into Door-to-Door.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Crazy. And what's crazy is I didn't even go back out the next year.
Yeah.
We ended up getting pregnant, having our first daughter, and then we didn't go out. So you and I never worked together.
No, we never knocked together.
It was like
but-
this little glimpse where you and I competed in CrossFit, and then it just kind of parted.
Yeah, and then we kind of
And then you just blew up.
kept in touch for over 10 years. So you're doing something really unique right now. Tell me what you're up to.
Yeah, so I was in alarms for over a decade. Top 1%, did really, really well, sold all over the nation. And then 3 years ago, my wife was like, hey, I'm done. And we had 3 kids, man. Like it was costing us a couple $1,000s to get out in the summer. We'd do really well. We traveled all over. I traveled with Sam to Bali, Indonesia. And then she just wanted to be done. And I was like, you know what? I've put you through hell. And she's been a champ. I was like, okay, let's call it. So I got into real estate. And the broker at the time was like, hey, you'd be lucky to do 1 deal the whole year. And I just almost did 300 accounts, like one deal. So anyway, I got a coach. I got a couple mentors that were doing really well. The average realtor does maybe 2 or 3 deals, like the whole year. So I was like, okay, well, they're cold calling. Let me try that. I didn't love it. I was like, well, why don't I just go door to door? Like I've done this for 12 years.
Yeah.
So I went door to door, ended up selling 75 homes my first
cow.
year.
75 homes your first year in real estate.
Yeah, blew it out of the water. And then my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer.
Oh, wow.
Ended up losing him. And I just had like this shift. And I was on my path my second year to cross over 100 homes. And I had this like identity shift of I need to now turn it around and give back to the community I love. So my business partner and I, which he sold 89 homes his first year going door to door, Dwayne Richens, we're like, hey, let's give back to realtors and let's teach them how to go door to door.
Yeah.
So one coaching client became 5, became 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I think we have over 60 coaching clients all over the world. I've got a guy in Singapore
Holy cow.
that talked to 600 people last week, picked up 15 listings in a week.
Jeez.
And they're all going door to door. So we're trying to open up this gap in the door to door space of, hey, realtors, don't cold call, don't do online marketing. You're selling maybe 10, 15 homes a year. Come sell over 100 going door to door.
So you're saying you can go door to door, and that's going to get you more than the bus stop, like bench signs,
the bench signs.
with your face on it, saying,
well, it's crazy.
let me sell your home?
Yeah, it's crazy. We just picked up a realtor. He was paying $7,000 a month just for online leads that were converting at 2.5%.
Oh.
And then when they convert, it takes 6 months to get them to buy or sell. I was like, what are you doing? Go knock. And so we've trained him, and in his first 3 weeks, he picked up 3 listings that he'll probably make close to 80 grand.
And then there's no ad spend, right?
It cost him nothing.
No money.
No money.
So what's the react? Because I'm sure you get some crazy reactions when you go to realtors that have been in the game for 5, 10, 15 years and say, hey, I bet I can make you more money knocking on. I mean, what's that reaction like?
So I was just on a podcast with a guy who's been in the real estate industry forever. And I was giving my intro, and I said I sold 75 doors or homes my first year. And he was like, wait, what? And so we talked about it. And then he's like, well, how did you do that? And I was like, well, I went door to door. And he's like, you literally went door to door? Like for what, an hour a day? I was like, no, 7 hours a day. And it's just, realtors can't comprehend it.
Yeah.
No one does it. And so every time we're on a podcast or we reach out through the social media, everyone's like, I've never heard of that before. Because in real estate, most people are maybe knocking for an hour when there's an open house, and they say they knock doors.
And they just maybe knock around the open house.
And they just kind of knock around the open house, and that's kind of it. Yeah. So no, like you take the schedule of a door-to-door guy, like an alarm guy, or fiber or anyone else, and you literally just put that into real estate. And then the pitch is the same, how you work in neighborhoods the same. Yeah. You get a transaction coordinator that runs all your paperwork and does all your online stuff. Like my brokerage I'm with, I don't think I know any of my passwords. I don't even know how to log in.
Hey, I got this deal.
I get the deal and I throw it to her and I'm on to the next. Yeah. And that's a mentality you get from door to door that realtors don't have.
That efficient,
where it's like, hey, I got one, but I need another one. I need another one. Where realtors are like, I made 30 grand, taking this month off. Then you have to get back into it, and then they only end up doing 2 or 3 deals a year.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's that mindset shift, right? It's like, hey, taking what you've done for a decade and applying that. I mean, that's phenomenal. I guarantee you get crazy reactions. And I mean, run me through a little bit. How do you pitch that? How do you knock on somebody's door and convince them to sell their house?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's literally the same thing. I'm just, instead of saying alarms, I'm saying to sell or buy, right? So I knock on their door. Hey, Jeremy with EXP, sorry to bug you. Did any of the neighbors tell you it's coming by? No. Bummer. I was hoping that you'd know I was coming. The Johnsons just listed their house. It's $400,000. It's a 4-bed, 2-bath, 1,800 square feet. Real estate market's crazy. If you thought about buying, selling, or investing, you say yes or no. Cool. Well, how long have you been here? Where'd you move from?
Yeah, and
is this your forever home? And then you just really just build the rapport and engage with them. Use your hands just like in alarms or fiber. You point to the neighbors just like in the other industries. You get them to come out of the house, and then they either sell their home, they pull the equity if it's their forever home and they buy an investment, or they tell me who to go talk to, just like in alarm. It's the same thing. And it's crazy that no one does it.
Yeah.
No one does
it's
it.
not, it's, the crazy part about it is you're giving them options too, right? It's not just saying, hey, do you want to sell your home? No, let me move
on to the next.
It's like, no, hey, either we have some options. Hey, do you want to sell?
Yep.
Or hey, have you thought about buying an investment property? So you have those options for them, right?
Yep. And it's crazy too because we hyper focus on townhomes and condos because that turnover's so high. So go put yourself in an area where there's a lot of people moving. And then not only are they going to sell, but they're probably going to buy with you. So you get one person, that's 2 deals.
Right.
You do that 4 times a month, which if you're talking 200 people a week, isn't that hard?
Yeah.
One a week. That's what? 4, 8. I mean, you're doing over 100 homes at that point.
Yeah. That's phenomenal because, people living in townhomes, that's not their forever home, right? That's
not their forever home.
That's their stepping stone to get into that home, right?
Yep.
So yeah, that's phenomenal.
So it's been crazy. Like in our coaching program, they'll ask like, well, how do you pick the right area? Yeah. Well, that comes from the door-to-door experience. Well, what do I do if I'm struggling? That comes from the door-to-door experience. Well, do you knock at nighttime? Like I did an Instagram live of me knocking at nighttime to show them how to do it. Because in real estate, I mean, you prospect. The average realtor is going to prospect.
Right?
Yeah, they're gonna prospect from like 8 to 11.
Yeah.
If they're elite.
Yeah.
But the average realtor is going to talk to 5 people a week.
Yeah.
Where I'm pushing, no, you need to talk to 200 people. Yeah. You need to knock 6 hours a day. Like go. And those that do, they're crushing it right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's phenomenal. It's such a crazy concept, right?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's the amazing thing about door-to-door, right? You can take door-to-door sales and just apply it to anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy some of the things meat, right? Door-to-door. There's guys that sell meat out of their truck. Fiber, alarms, pest, all the normal stuff. But, there's even guys that now are selling HVAC, right? They're doing
that's wild.
Roof, solar. I mean, But once you learn those skills, you can almost apply that to any product. It doesn't matter what the product is, as long as you have that foundation.
What's crazy is, so my son, who's 6, he wanted to buy a turtle and a cage. So we figured out how much it was going to cost, and I was like, okay, well, how are you going to get money? And after he figured out I wasn't going to give it to him, he's like, well, I could go door to door like you, Dad. and so we literally went through the pitch, and on my phone I have it recorded, but we went over the objections that he'd probably get. And he went door to door to get money to fundraise to buy a turtle, and it worked. Even for like a 6-year-old kid that wanted that. But yeah, you can take any product, as long as you have a strategy and you just put your head down and grind, it works really, really well. And we're finding in the real estate space, no one does this.
No.
So then exposure, that's all we need. But when we're exposed to the real estate world, that's why we're pulling guys from Singapore, from Florida, from Canada. They're like, I can resonate with that, because cold calling, it doesn't work. Like, it's expensive. You got to call, I think the average is like 700 people a day to get 10 people to answer.
Jeez.
So I've never talked to 700 people.
No.
Usually I'll talk to 10 in a day and 9 answer, and I can convert 3 of them in real estate. Wow. So the numbers are super low versus cold calling
it's
or
a lot
putting the sign out there.
too, right? Just like anything, you knock the doors, one more door, you're gonna close.
Yeah.
Right. So what have you figured out? Kind of what your metrics are? How many doors do you need to knock on to get a listing or close a deal?
Yeah. So I got really, really, really good before I jumped into coaching. I was right around like the 18 door mark.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I knew if I talked to 18 people, they were either gonna buy, sell, or invest with me within like the next 2 months.
Yeah.
And so I just would stack that category, and then they just were converting like pretty quick.
That's awesome.
I had one lady where I knocked her door. She had to sell that home. Her daughter had to sell their home. They then bought a home together, and then they used the leftover money to get an investment. So from one door knock, it got me 4 deals, and I made almost like 120 grand just from that experience. So it was about like 18 doors. Average realtor with us right now, it's about like 125, which if you're talking to 200 people a week, that's 1 a week.
Yeah,
that's 4 a month. That's almost 50 deals a year.
52 deals
Making
a year,
$500,000.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I'm sure too, using that model, you build those relationships and that rapport, where you're probably getting a lot of referrals.
Yeah, that's what's been interesting about real estate is in the alarm industry. I mean, I didn't focus on it a lot, so maybe that's why. But I wasn't getting people come the next season like, hey, I've got 5 people for you to come. Like, I had to start at 0 every year. Like, I sold 250, I've got to go back and do it again. Like, I almost sold 300, I've got to go back and do that again. Like, but in real estate, because they're going from townhome to their next home, well, in 3 or 4 years, they're going to want the next home. And then not only that, but usually when people buy a house, they're stoked, and they tell everybody about it. So I can pull 1,
They're like, oh, 2, who did you use?
3 referrals. Yeah, I mean, the real estate market's crazy, and everyone knows someone that's going to buy a house this year. Yeah. But then when you buy one or you get your investment, you're going to tell everybody about it. And so the repeat business is crazy. Like, my business partner knocked for 2 years. Sold 89 his first year, 150 his second year, and then hasn't knocked a door since. And it's been 5 years. And just 30 million just coming in volume every single year. Wow. And I think I've been in real estate for 3 years now. And I'm starting to hit that point where it's like, now I can pull back.
Right.
I can coach.
I
can run a team. And now they're just starting to hit. Like yesterday I had 2 deals come in that will list their house in the next 30 days.
Wow. That's
so
phenomenal.
That's probably been the biggest difference is, man, the referral game's crazy.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. But, we'll wrap this up. But I mean, what would you say the biggest challenge was going from alarms to real estate?
Biggest challenge was the technicalities.
Yeah.
Real estate is, you have to know your stuff.
Yep.
Or you'll get sued. So, yeah, I mean, I probably had three lawsuits my first year because I just was getting deals and I just was throwing them in left and right. So I had to get a coordinator that knew the laws, knew the paperwork. Yeah. Because in alarms it was throw in a deal, throw in a deal, throw in a deal, sign here, throw this. Like, you sign, see you later, I don't care about you ever again. But in real estate it's like, no, I need to build that relationship because I want the referrals, I want the business in a couple years. So it was just, I had to learn how to calm down and like really learn the structure. But once you learn that, it just pops. Like I said, I don't even know my logins because I've got all my assistants and coordinators and 2 virtual assistants that cover all of that for me.
That's phenomenal. No, that's awesome. I mean, it just goes to show you that door-to-door is an endless game, right?
Endless game.
I don't think there's anything that can't be, sold door-to-door.
You go from a 19-year-old
yeah.
to that's doing like a low entry point door-to-door item to a 25-year-old with kids doing a higher entry item, and then you can be in your 30s doing like a higher ticket real estate. So door-to-door is like this progression. Like you said, you could go for 20, 30 years, evolving every couple of years.
Eventually, you're going to be selling yachts. Huh?
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, no, I appreciate it, Jeremy. I mean, it's really cool to see how you've grown, see your journey over
Likewise.
the last decade. And, it just goes to show you that, and I think a lot of reps, especially when they're starting out, they get so kind of burnt out that first year. And it's like, they just don't know if they just keep with it a little longer, that light bulb is going to click, right?
Yeah.
And it's not going to become that, crap, I got to go knock doors. I want to go knock doors.
Yeah.
Let's get out on the doors, right?
Yeah.
So, no, that's awesome. I mean, just goes to show you, like I said, you can sell anything door to door.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You never would have thought, what was it? You said 75 your first year in real estate?
Yeah.
That's what, top 1% in the country, probably?
Top
1%, right? So that's awesome. No, I appreciate you. Last question. For those that didn't come to Door-to-Door Con this year, what did they miss out on? Why should they come next year?
Yeah, so, I mean, like I said, I've been every year. You really are one conversation or one person away from changing the stars for your family. Like, you can change the legacy of your family's entire lifespan by just coming and meeting one person.
Right.
For me, this year it was sitting and listening to Casey Baugh.
Yeah.
And that one experience,
Casey.
that one experience will make me go home and reevaluate how I look at things. And then all the other people I've met. So if you didn't come, you're missing those experiences. You need to come next year. You need to network. Come with a couple people and then leave with 20 extra lifetime friends. Yeah. Right, and then you and I, we've known each other forever, haven't seen each other in forever, but this event
9 years,
pulled us together,
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Well, thanks, Jeremy, for being on the Door-to-Door Podcast,
sure.
and we'll have to do this again next year.
Awesome.